Welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're shifting gears a bit. We're not just looking under the hood, we're taking a full plunge into the world of classic car enthusiasts. You've told us you're interested in how communities form around these shared passions, and well, today's topic, the Back to the 50s event. It's a perfect case study. The source material we're digging into is an audio excerpt. It's called Over the Edge Back to the 50s.mp3.
Right. And our mission here, as we listen to this, is really to unpack it all. Not just the cars, which are incredible, obviously, but the community itself, the sheer passion, and honestly, the surprising scale of this thing. It's become a global phenomenon, really. We want to explore it from the perspective of the people actually living this culture. What makes this gathering so unique? Why do people keep coming back year after year? Kind of begs the question, doesn't it? What are those hidden ingredients that turn a small meetup into something this huge? This beloved?
That is the perfect question because the scale, when we talk about back to the 50s, it's genuinely astonishing. The source we listen to calls it, and I quote, easily the largest three-day car show of its kind in the world. Can you give us a sense of just how massive this thing is, filling the Minnesota State Fairgrounds? And what does the source say about how it got so big?
It's almost hard to picture. Imagine nearly 12,000 cars and trucks, just completely filling the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. It started as just a gathering, like really small now. Over 125,000 spectators, 11,800 registered cars. It's massive. And what's really fascinating is tracing it back. The Minnesota Street Rod Association, MSR, right? That started back in the late 60s. Get this, just 12 guys. Yeah. 12 guys getting together, talking about their cars. That's it. And the source puts it really well. No one thought it would ever be this big. It just kind of fed on itself. You see more cool cars, you meet new people from around the Twin Cities or the whole metro, then suddenly people are coming from out of state. It just snowballed. From those 12 guys, the MSR now has more than 13,000 members worldwide.
Wow, 13,000 worldwide from just 12 guys. So the takeaway there is maybe that for these really passionate communities, that kind of organic growth, just people sharing their joy, can be way more powerful than any, big marketing plan. But this huge scale didn't just happen in a vacuum, right? It seems linked to some very specific rules, some characteristics of the event itself, almost counterintuitive rules maybe. What are they, and how do they kind of shape the show's identity?
Exactly. This is where you really see the character of the show.
Yeah.
The rules are pretty simple, but they have a big impact. Okay, Rule 1, cars must have been built by 1964. That's the cutoff. And Rule 2, this is the famous one, no Mustangs allowed.
Dead Mustangs.
Yep, no Mustangs. But other than those two things, pretty much anything goes. So you see these amazing, wonderfully kept classics like Ford Galaxies, cars you just don't see much anymore. And then you see stuff that, like the source says, no one has ever seen before. Really unique builds. It's a deliberate choice, that curation.
That's fascinating. A specific year cutoff, and then excluding such an iconic car like the Mustang. It definitely shapes things. But beyond just giving people something different to look at, what does the source suggest is the deeper effect of these rules on the community, the experience?
Well, it offers a really interesting insight, I think. For niche communities like this, sometimes deliberate exclusion can actually strengthen the identity. It can build a stronger sense of belonging. It creates this very curated experience, right? Which deepens the appreciation for that specific era. The source mentions a guy, John Myers, with a 1961 Triumph TR4. Not many European cars there. And people see it, and it gives them something different to look at, sure. But it also triggers memories. People remember those cars from the 60s, the 70s.
Ah, so it's nostalgia, too.
Big time. It's not just about perfect restorations. It's about appreciating the variety within that specific time frame. And excluding something like the Mustang, which came later, became so common, it helps keep the focus tight on that earlier period. It sharpens the shared nostalgia,
Okay, I get that. So the rules shape the cars. But the source seems really clear that the why people come back, the heart of it, is the people. It says no competition, just the love of wheels, fins, and people. And one person put it so well, it's just like in your blood now. If it isn't a car, it's the people, it's the parts, it's the food. It's just so much fun you can't explain. What does that tell us about the real pull of this event?
Yeah, that quote really nails it. It highlights the dedication, the passion. It suggests this isn't just a car show. It's become like a vital ritual for these folks. Take Connie Murphy. The source talks about her driving her 56 Chevy Nomad all the way from California.
From California.
For the 5th year in a row. And for her, the drive itself is part of it. She says it's like a car show from there to here. People waving at gas stops the whole way.
That's amazing.
It really illustrates that community connection, right? That shared joy isn't just at the fairgrounds. It stretches across the country. It turns a long road trip into, well, a rolling party. I think the insight there is that for people this passionate, the journey, the shared experience, it can be just as important as the destination. It builds a bond that's bigger than just the event weekend.
That level of commitment, turning a road trip into a mobile car show, that's incredible. And clearly that passion is something they want to pass on, keep it alive. Our source also mentioned the generational aspect, right? Brent Albert, the Igniter Youth Rodders. How is the event actually doing that, fostering that passing of the torch? And why is that so important for its future?
Oh, it's absolutely critical. You hit it. It's key to the hobby staying alive. And it's another big part of this event's success story, the Igniters, that Youth Rodder program. It's specifically designed to bring in and mentor younger enthusiasts, get them hooked, basically. And you hear from younger members like Brent, they look up to the seasoned vets.
Yeah.
He values hearing the old stories of the past that I haven't had a chance to live.
Yeah.
So that exchange, that sharing of knowledge, stories, skills,
Yeah.
that's how the traditions keep going. The event gets that you need real mentorship, experienced folks sharing their passion to keep the momentum going, to build that legacy. And it feeds right back into that momentum thing the source talked about earlier. People tell friends, bring their kids, their grandkids. It becomes, like the source says, unbelievable year after year. It just keeps growing because of that connection.
Right. So you bring all these pieces together, this unbelievable organic growth, the unique rules that define its identity, this deep community spirit that literally crosses state lines, and this really deliberate focus on involving the next generation that creates this powerful mix, doesn't it? This enduring appeal. The source sums it up nicely. It has it all besides the cars, of course, from older friends and family to new friends and family. Plus, the fact that you physically cannot see every single car there.
Exactly. That sense of fun, that great atmosphere all weekend, combined with knowing you haven't seen it all. It's the perfect reason to come back. You know there's more to discover, more people to meet, more stories. It creates that pull, that need to St. Paul and drive back in time next year. It makes the whole thing kind of self-sustaining. The insight, maybe a sense of endless discovery plus strong social ties, is a recipe for keeping people engaged year after year.
Well, that really wraps up our deep dive into the Back to the 50s event nicely. It's such a powerful example, isn't it? A community built purely on shared passion, on history, and just the joy of connecting with people. It goes way beyond just liking old cars. It's a living, breathing cultural thing. And it definitely answers that initial question about those hidden ingredients.
Absolutely. And, thinking about the enduring power of an event like this, celebrating a specific time, fostering those strong intergenerational bonds through shared experiences, through that careful curation. It leaves you with a question to chew on, doesn't it? What might be the modern versions of gatherings like this? In a world that feels increasingly digital, where do we find these passionate, community-driven events? And maybe what can the rest of us learn from the car crazy, as they say, about how to build traditions that are not just lasting, but genuinely joyful and that really stand the test of time? Something to think about.